Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Money Matters, where we talk about accountancy, taxation, finance, and frankly, everything and all things money matters. The number to call today is 0203 5151 764. If you have any questions, any queries, anything relating to finance, whether it's relating to the pandemic or anything else, and anything maybe you want to undertake, please do get in touch with us and we will help as much as possible. 0203 5151 764. If you're watching on Sky, you know you can watch us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/TV1UK. And also live streaming on YouTube is youtube.com/TV1UK. And don't forget, directly on the website of TV1 also is tv1uk.tv. We do apologize because we have started a little bit later today, but it's a lot of traffic out there and both of us were a little bit delayed. But luckily, alhamdulillah, Arif Bhai is with me as usual. Assalamu alaikum, Arif Bhai. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, apart from the traffic and queue on the petrol station.
Yes, terrible. Terrible. I mean, you know, it's actually finance related, isn't it? This particular crisis that we're having with the fuel crisis.
Yes, it's not only fuel. If you hear the news, you know, I think that couple of days ago, we start talking about the gas prices, fuel cost.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah. It's not only in the UK, it's all over the world and Europe. The gas is a big problem.
It's going to be a big problem.
Gas supply.
Yes.
And obviously that's going to affect the business.
Absolutely. No, 100%, absolutely. And then
the price has significantly has gone up.
Has gone up. Yeah.
Your gas and electricity bill.
And I think
the business is looking for a bigger bill.
Yes, exactly.
Very soon.
And it's a this is essentially the transport cost. The fuel is the transport cost of any business, and transport. To move one product from one location to another location. That's the main, essentially the main cost of fuel is the main cost of the transport. Now, if fuel is, if there is a shortage, or if the price is going up, essentially, then that product cost will essentially go up likewise.
The question is, we all know that we're going through a very difficult time. When just come out from the COVID and businesses are just trying to settle, they try to reopen the businesses.
Yes.
এই সময়ে আসলে businesses জন্য is very difficult to manage the business, manage the cost. Everybody is trying to cut some cost and to balance the book. How they can survive.
That's right.
So এর মধ্যে যদি you have your light and heat cost, it goes up significantly.
Yes.
And then you have because of the fuel, the problem, the transportation cost will go up. Some of the lorry driver was offering, I think, about £1,200 to drive the lorry for a day.
Wow.
Instead of £300 is the daily rate.
Wow.
If you know, I have some haulage company
okay.
as my client. So their daily rate, it's not more than £200 to £300 a day
per day for the delivery drivers.
For the drivers, but now some of the companies offering them £1,200 a day just to drive the lorry.
Wow. Okay.
There's that many shortage. This is about 90,000 drivers short.
This is another side of this issue where there's a lack of lorry drivers, and that
last 1 year, about 90,000 lorry drivers, they give up their job. They don't want to do that anymore.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Now, there are other issues. Other side there are other issues, but one of the side, আমাদের tax related, business related issues. If you heard about IR35.
Yes.
Yeah, we know that last year যখন government IR35 introduce করেছে. Initially government sector করেছে, তারপরে last year থেকে even private sector bigger organization, they had to comply with IR35. So we know the lot of lorry drivers was actually self-employed, and They used to set up a small company. তাদের কোম্পানি নিজস্ব কোম্পানির থ্রুতে তারা ট্রেড করতো। And now once the IR35 came in, and then obviously they had to comply, and they had to go back to the payroll, or under umbrella company. Now obviously that's costing
it's a cost
them.
to the business now, cost to
Their tax,
the whole company.
Obviously tax liability has gone up. So they were struggling, and the European drivers, they left. So there's a big shortfall.
There's a lot of
lorry drivers.
There's a lot of external effects that have caused this particular issue. Without obviously making our show too political, let's not.
It's not political. We will not go to that side. This is not a political conversation, but this is a business conversation, because our show is relevant to the business and money.
Absolutely.
But what we are saying, that this is not a good time for the business to face this sort of trouble.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it's a big knock-on effect. For example, and I always like to, the viewers know this, I always like to bring in our community in this, because আমরা তো শোটা আমরা TV1 আমরা Bangladeshi community, I like to bring in our community. A majority of our community, with all we're based in the catering business. We're based in delivery driving, Uber driving, minicab driving. A lot of it is to do with this. Not everybody, but a lot of it. Even if it's a normal job, to get to A and B, you have your own car, and this is so. This knock-on effect is actually, if a delivery driver can't do the deliveries, then that business, that food business is
it's affecting everybody. For example, if an Uber driver can't get the petrol,
his livelihood is finished. He's stopped.
Probably he's not going to go to work.
That's right.
So that's affecting him. If he lose a day's earning, that's affecting
big
him.
time.
Delivery drivers,
absolutely.
The fuel na paয়, delivery, they can't do the delivery.
Absolutely.
And from there, even business, even the catering industry, the gas price has gone up.
Absolutely, yes.
Significantly it's gone up.
Absolutely.
I think about 60-70%.
Wow.
It will go up.
Gas
price this year.
60 to 70% is going to go up. So that's a huge increase.
Yeah, there's a big shortage of gas supply.
So then what happens is either then that business is going to be less profitable because the expense has gone up,
extra cost,
or they're going to increase their prices.
Even £5,000 extra electricity and gas bill.
Yeah, it's a big
this time
difference.
Particular time. It's a factor.
It's a massive factor. It's a big problem. Big problem. If you have any questions or queries, if you'd like to call in, please do call in 0203 5151 764. Arif bhai, like we did last few shows, আমরা যদি just to reiterate a few of the pandemic related schemes, the government help that was available. Some of these are coming to an end, some of these are changing. Just to reiterate, I'll go through them quickly. Furlough is coming to an end. Furlough will be finished, final one
3 days.
In 3 days, essentially. If you haven't applied yet for September, you have until the 14th of October to apply, but it will be for this particular month, for September. In between this, let's take a quick call. We have a caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Welcome, salam.
Caller, assalamu alaikum.
Hi, welcome, salam.
Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. Ji bhaiya, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London.
London, okay. Fire away with your question, bhaiya.
Yeah, hi. Hello?
Hi, can you hear us? If you put your TV volume down and then
Okay,
talk
hold
to
on.
us. Otherwise, there'll be interference.
Yeah, I'm calling from London. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go on. What's your question, bhaiya?
Yeah, basically, one sec. I can't hear. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, we can all hear you.
Oh, okay, that's good. My it's not more a question, it's more what you've said. At the moment, Tower Hamlets does have a lot of petrol that's been delivered. And you were talking about in terms of Uber drivers and everything. But it's not even this. It's Tower Hamlets predominantly is an ethnic minority borough. There is petrol. We're just all jumping on the bandwagon. there isn't a shortage. It's not about the foreign drivers coming and delivering. We have petrol in the United Kingdom. And I work for British Petroleum, so that's why I'm telling you that there are deliveries scheduled. It's just people panicking, going up the queues, and what we're doing is almost giving them misleading information. Even now, there is a queue. There doesn't have to be a queue.
Right.
It's just about going around, making sure that you're getting your... You don't need to get any additional petrol. It's not that people go and get petrol every day.
So just to reiterate, I'm so glad you've called in. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much for calling in, and thank you so much for watching our show. Just to reiterate, you work with BP, did you say?
That's right, yeah.
You
So
work with
basically,
BP.
it's in Scotland, and we work on the actual Shell pipeline. So all the fuel that comes from there is then sent to the depots and everything from here.
Okay, fantastic. Arif bhai, so
What it is, it's basically the media hype and everything. Look, I understand that, you know, it's a money matter program, but it's a platform to be able to give people the information and say, hey,
Absolutely.
actually, you can go later on, go at a different time. There is petrol being delivered, highway in Wapping, petrol every single day is being delivered. We've seen the schedule. There isn't a shortage of drivers in our country. It's the foreign drivers who are not able to come to the UK. We don't have foreign petrol coming to this country. Yeah, it's too long of a journey and it's too dangerous. We have our own petrol here, but the problem is it's the chaos that's been caused by media. That's all. But otherwise, you know, it's all fine. But it's our people who hear one thing and everybody's thinking, oh no, the world's coming to an end.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen it before, haven't we? We've seen it with the toilet roll, with the pasta, you know.
The panic buying.
We've seen it.
Wait till the next day. Half of the Sainsbury's are empty, Tesco's are empty, everything's empty. People are now... That would be a worry for me. Because essential food and majority of the food is grown outside of the UK. Yeah? Technically speaking, yes, there will be a food shortage. Why? Because the United Kingdom is the only country. We live on an island. People actually forget that, and that is what's important to remember. We are cut off from the mainland, and that's important. We don't grow half of our own products.
That's correct.
Yeah. So if we don't grow half of our products, we will be stuck. Our tissues are not even made here. They come from Brazil. Can you imagine? Toilet tissue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can imagine the length of things that people have to go through. But it's important not to scaremonger people and tell them, Uber drivers and all this, you've got to get up at different times, just change your routine, go early, etc. You can't be thinking, oh, I'll hog up at 10 o'clock, go and get some petrol. It doesn't work like that. Time has changed. Government's not going to respond. You've just got to do what is important to make that change happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely, fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Bye.
You know, for your call, I think you have explained nicely, and that will give some confidence to some of the Uber driver and general motorist, you know, who are queuing up at the petrol station right now. Thank you very much for your call.
Fantastic. Arif bhai, amazing. That's given some reassurance, and I hope it's given some reassurance to our viewers. And like the brother said, you know, the media isn't helping here. The media hasn't actually helped. And I feel, you know, with all due respect to the government, I feel like they haven't actually stepped up and actually, you know, given any sort of announcement for the people to not panic buy, essentially. So I think there is a bit of
There was a statement from the Transport Secretary yesterday, you know, I said...
What did he say? I missed it then. I must have missed it. What was it?
Anyway,
Do you
let's
remember?
not go back to the politics.
Let's not go to that side.
Let's talk about money.
I'm just a bit, obviously you can see the frustration. But yes, so going back to the changes that are happening. So at the end of this month, furlough is ending. So that's the final furlough claim that we can do for this month of September. And just to remember, it's 60% that we can claim, and the employer will have to top up minimum of 20%, so that the employee is receiving 80% of the salary. The next thing that is ending is, this is the final month to apply for the self-assessment grant, the fifth and final grant. So this is actually the 30th of September is the final date to submit your application. So if you haven't done so, get that done. That's urgent, that's emergency. Get that done and get your fifth and final grant, inshallah. And as we've always reiterated, and Arif has mentioned several times before, that the grant only needs your income, not the whole account. So if you're waiting for your accountant to prepare your accounts, you don't need to wait. Just look at your income, whether it's on your bank statements or your notes or whatever. Just look at the income, and that's all the only figure you need to prepare that, to submit that application. So, get that done. And then the third thing is the VAT changes. So the VAT for the hospitality industry was 5%. Now from the 1st of October, it will go to 12.5%. So all food items and within the catering business and the hospitality industry is going to move from 5% to 12.5% until 31st of March 2022. And then it's going to go back to the standard rate of 20% back to normal. Those are the few things that are changing. If there's anything we've missed, if there's any other questions, viewers, if you have any other particular question relating to the pandemic government schemes, please get in touch. 0203 515 1764. Before we move on to our main topic, we've got another caller on the line, so let's take that, inshallah.
Let's take the call.
Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, bhaiya. Thank you very much. Apne koi theke phone korchen, bhaiya?
করছি বার্মিংহাম থেকে
Birmingham থেকে, mashallah. Bhaiya, what's Birmingham like? Amra fuel aseni Birmingham.
fuel is not a shortage. Only problem is people are queuing.
I think only in London there is a bit of madness. Okay, bhaiya, tell me, what's your question, bhaiya?
I just like to know one thing is, for 5th grant, if your income is 2021 higher than 19 and 20, can you still claim? Or
if your income is higher than if the 2021 income is higher than 2020, then I don't think you will get a grant.
20 and 21,
Ji.
the income is like more than like 1920.
Okay, so I don't think at that stage you will be entitled to a grant, bhaiya, because Arif bhai, please stay on the line, bhaiya. Arif bhai will go through it with you, inshallah. He might ask you any questions.
What they said actually, what's the HMRC's guideline says, if your income drop more than 30% from 2020, then you will get 80% of your 2020 profit. So what does that mean? Say for example, in 2020 your income was £100 and now has fall less than £70, say £69 or £68. Then you will get 80% of your 2020 income profit. But if it's less than 30%, say for example it was £100 in 2020 and now is £75, which is less than 30%. Then you will get only 30% of your 2020 profit. That's what the guideline says, but it didn't clear whether if your income goes up, that means if you earn more than last year, then whether you will be entitled to get the grant or not, that is not clear to us. So it's better to apply. If you even think that if your income is similar sort of income or a little bit higher, still it's worth applying. You apply and then they will decide. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank
you, bhaiya. Thank you very much for your call. Do you have any other questions, bhaiya?
No, it's fine.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling in. Actually, that's a very good question because we did actually overlook this, that there might be people that have the income has been higher than the previous year. So that's the situation. So there's no harm in applying. Let's see.
Because 5th grant is being tested. The other grants were not.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to go for a quick break now and then we're going to start our main topic for the night, and we will take queries and questions for that topic. It will be relating to capital gains tax, relating to property matters. So if you have any properties, property developers, please do get in touch. 0203 5151 764. We will see you shortly after the break. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Money Matters, where we talk about accountancy, taxation, finance, and frankly, all things money matters. The number to call is 0203 5151 764. We've discussed a few of these current affairs topics. Let's talk about the main topic in hand, Arif Bhai. Capital gains tax. We've been discussing this for a few weeks, but it's a topic that it's going to take a long time to finish, and we've only really kind of touched on it. What would you
yes,
what would you say?
Bhai. For last two episodes,
yes,
we covered some of the aspect of the capital gain tax, the basic capital gain tax, and we explained to our viewers that, what is capital gain tax and when we pay the capital gain tax. In personal circumstances, is mainly when you sell your investment property. Mainly, there is no capital gain tax payable to your principal residence where you live. If you sell that house, and there is no capital gain tax to pay, unless there are some other condition that if you let a part of your house or you use that as a commercial property, part of the house you use as a commercial property, or you have a massive house and then your part of your garden you sell separately. In those sort of circumstances, yes, the principal residence, you can, the capital gain tax might be payable at some point. But mainly when we sell the buy-to-let property, the investment property, that's when the capital gain tax trigger on. And capital gain is basically the price you paid when you bought it initially, minus your associated expenses, like solicitor fee, stamp duty, you take it off, or you add it with your purchase cost, and then whatever the sale proceed, you just the difference between your sales price and the purchase price, minus the expenses. That is, if you make any gain, then you have to pay certain amount of capital gain tax. For property is 18% if you are basic rate taxpayer, and if you are higher rate taxpayer, then you pay 28%. So that is about the personal aspect of capital gain tax. Your main principal residence, you don't pay tax. Any additional property, at the same time, if you have more than one property, two properties, then one of the property will be treated as let property, and if you sell that one, then you pay capital gain tax. So that's the personal aspect. Obviously, there are some other associated costs, like if you make an extension, loft conversion, or you have done some work which has actually enhanced the value of the property, you can obviously offset those expenses, but not the refurbishment cost, the regular maintenance cost that you claim against your rental income. Rental income থেকে এটা expense claim করা যায়, but for capital gain tax purpose, that have to be bigger expenses, like as I said, loft conversion or kitchen extension, this sort of.
We've got I just want to pause you. We've got a caller on the line.
Yes,
let's take the call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
হ্যালো
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
আসসালাম ভাই, আমি একটু স্টুডিওতে কথা বলতে চাইছিলাম।
জি জি, আপনি স্টুডিওতে লাইভ বলছেন, আপনার প্রশ্ন বলেন প্লিজ। আপনি
জি
জি আপনার টিভির ভলিউম কমাইবা, টিভির ভলিউম কমাই আমরা লগে মাতবা প্লিজ।
রাখেন এক মিনিট, আমি কমাই।
Yeah, it's better now.
ওকে,
জি আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
জি ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। জি আপনার প্রশ্ন হোক ভাইয়া।
আমার প্রশ্নটা হলো কি, আমি তো ওই ইটালিয়ান সিভিল লোক এখানে আসছি, আজকে 5 বছর হয়ে গেছে। আমরা সবকিছুই ওকে, এখানে যা কিছু করা আছে আমরা রেডি করে রাখছি, কিন্তু আমার একটা ছেলে, আপনার কথাটা আমি শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
জি 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 জি
হ্যালো,
জি ভাইয়া বলেন।
বলতেছি যে আমার একটা ছেলে ওখানে আছে আর কি, তারে এখানে আমার কোনো, আমি ফ্যামিলি মেম্বার হিসেবে সে আমার আপনার কি যিনি বলে ইউরোপিয়ান আমাদের কার্ডটা দিছে আর কি, ইউরোপিয়ান কার্ড বলে আর কি, কার্ডটা ইউরোপা বলে এটাকে। ফ্যামিলি মেম্বার হিসেবে সে এই কাগজটা ইটালিতে আছে তাই, তাহলে ওখান থেকে তারা আমার কোনো এই ধরনের আমার কাছে ব্যবস্থা আছে।
আচ্ছা, জি আমি প্রশ্ন বুঝতে পারছি ভাইয়া। আপনার প্রশ্নটা হচ্ছে ইমিগ্রেশন রিলেটেড কোশ্চেন। এটা যারা ইমিগ্রেশন সলিসিটার আছে, ওনারাও এখানে টিভি ওয়ানে ওনারা প্রোগ্রাম করে, আপনার লিগ্যাল শো যেটা আমরা বলি।
আচ্ছা আমি সরি, আমি একটা কথা বলবো, আমি ওই আপনার এখানে উনি অনেক সময় জেনারেল কথাবার্তা বলে দিতে আজকে টেলিং করতে, আমি মসজিদ মাত্র আসি, নামাজ পড়ি, নাম্বারটা দেখা যায়, আমার নাম্বার তো আগে পাই নাই, এই জন্য পর করে রিং করলাম আর।
জি জি, সো এখানে যখন লিগ্যাল প্রোগ্রাম হবে, সলিসিটাররা যখন থাকবে, ইমিগ্রেশন সলিসিটাররা, তখন আপনার এই প্রশ্নটা তাদের কাছে করবেন। আমাদের এই শোটা আসলে এটা অ্যাকাউন্টেন্সি অ্যান্ড ট্যাক্সেশনের উপরে, আমরা মেইনলি কথা বলি আপনার ট্যাক্স ইস্যুতে। সো আপনার কোশ্চেনটা আপনার সলিসিটারদের প্রোগ্রাম যখন হবে তখন আপনি খেয়াল রাখবেন, তখন আপনি তাদেরকে প্রশ্ন করবেন।
Excellent. Thank you, Arif bhai. Thank you very much for caller. Let's take another call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, caller. Assalamu alaikum.
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম।
Assalamualaikum Assalam. Ji bhaiya, where are you calling from?
ইস্ট লন্ডন।
From East London. Ji, আপনার প্রশ্ন হোক প্লিজ ভাইয়া।
আমার প্রশ্নটা হলো আপনার যে ইউনিভার্সাল ক্রেডিট আছে,
জি।
এটা যে স্টেটমেন্টটা পাইতে গেলে কিরকম পাওয়া যায় আর কি, আমার ওটা একটু দরকার আর কি, আমি একটু আইডিয়া লাগি ফোনটা করছি আর কি।
আপনার স্টেটমেন্ট বলতে ইউনিভার্সাল ক্রেডিটটা কি স্টেটমেন্ট না?
ইউনিভার্সাল ক্রেডিট যেন আমরা যে পাইয়া থাকি, তো এটার তো একটা স্টেটমেন্ট করা হইতে হয় মিলে, তো এই স্টেটমেন্টটা কিরকম পাওয়া যায় আর কি।
ওকে ওকে ওকে, এটা তারা খুঁজেননি আপনার কাছ থেকে না
আমি আমার দরকার আর কি।
আপনার নিজের দরকার? ওকে ওকে।
আপনার পেমেন্টের ডিটেইলস চাচ্ছেন আপনি, যে আপনাকে কত পেমেন্ট দেওয়া হয়েছে, কবে দেওয়া হয়েছে?
জি জি।
এইটার জন্য আপনার বেস্ট হলো আপনি যদি তাদেরকে একটা ফোন করে আপনি বলেন, ইউনিভার্সাল ক্রেডিটকে যদি ফোন করে তাদের বলেন যে আপনার স্টেটমেন্ট দরকার, আপনাকে একটা স্টেটমেন্ট দেওয়ার জন্য, তাইলে হয়তো আপনি পেতে পারেন। বাট অনলাইনে কিভাবে পাওয়া যায় এটা ঠিক আমাদের জানা নাই, যেহেতু আমরা অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টরা আসলে আমরা অন্য লাইনে কাজ করি, বিজনেসের ট্যাক্স অ্যাফেয়ার্স নিয়ে আমরা বেশিরভাগ সময় ব্যস্ত থাকি। সো যার জন্য ইউনিভার্সাল ক্রেডিট অ্যাপ্লিকেশন বা কিভাবে আপনার স্টেটমেন্ট পাওয়া যাবে এগুলো আসলে আমাদের নলেজের বাইরে, আনলেস আলম ভাই নোজ।
আই থিঙ্ক অ্যাগেন ইটস নট আসলে আমার মানে এরকম মানে নলেজ এরকম এটার উপরে না, এতটুকু না। বাট আপনার যে অনলাইন একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম থাকতে পারে, ইউনিভার্সাল ক্রেডিটের অনলাইন প্ল্যাটফর্ম আপনার একটা থাকতে পারে, ওখানে মাঝে আপনি
অ্যাপ্লাই করে
জাস্ট লগ ইন টু দে, লগ ইন করিয়া আপনি দেখো ওখানে আপনার কোনটা পাইতে পারেননি, অথবা আই থিঙ্ক মেবি ডাইরেক্টলি আপনার যে যারা ডিল করে
বেস্ট হলো আপনি ফোন ইউনিভার্সাল ক্রেডিটে ফোন করে আপনি রিকোয়েস্ট করলে আপনার স্টেটমেন্ট পাঠিয়ে দেবে তারা।
Excellent. Thank you very much. Bhaiya, hopefully after uttar paishun inshallah. Do we have any more calls on the line? Assalamu alaikum caller. No, we don't have any more calls on the line. Okay, excellent. So let's continue, Arif bhai. So with the capital gains tax, you know, we understand amra je ekta buঝি jene if it's your own home, it's more than likely that you don't have to pay any capital gain tax.
No, most of the case you don't.
Now আমার কাছে অনেকটা প্রশ্ন আসে when we go through this situation, especially from property developers, যে what if now I'm living in one house and before I sell my second home, it's been rented, maybe they've had the property for 5 years for example, and now they want to move to that home, live there for 6 months, 1 year, and then they will sell it.
Yes.
So that essentially becomes their main residence.
Okay.
So there is, from an accountant's point of view, I've given the answer to my client, but I'd like to, we'd like to discuss this with the viewers.
Let me explain to you a bit more.
Yes.
Because the rule was আপনার প্রিন্সিপাল রেসিডেন্স যদি আপনি বিক্রি করেন, মনে করেন একটা বাড়িতে আপনি কেনার পর থেকে you was living there for say 10 years. You lived in that property, yeah, and then you bought another property and you moved out and you lived in that property. Now one of the property will be subject to capital gain tax. Once you rent it out, obviously the second home you will rent out, then one of the property will be subject to capital gain tax. You have a choice, you can make the choice that which one you want to keep as your residence and which one will be subject to capital gain tax. Either you can give a nomination, আর nomination যদি না দেন তাহলে যে এটা আপ টু HMRC, যে প্রপার্টিতে আপনি বেশি দিন ছিলেন সেটাই আপনার প্রিন্সিপাল রেসিডেন্স হবে। বাট যে কোশ্চেনটা আলম ভাই করেছে যে হোয়াট ইজ দ্য বেনিফিট, যে আমরা যদি বিক্রি করার আগে আবার ওই প্রপার্টিতে আমরা ফিরে যাই and then we sell it as principal residence, no, still that will be at some point it will be subject to capital gain tax. But what the benefit you get, the original rule was final 3 years, 36 months you will get a bonus, that you as if you was living another 3 years there,
because that's what a lot of people were doing. They abolished that.
The way it's work, মনে করেন আপনি 10 বছর ছিলেন একটা প্রপার্টিতে, থাকার পরে আপনি অন্য আরেকটা প্রপার্টিতে চলে গেছেন, এখন আপনি 5 বছর আপনি ছিলেন না, সো 5 বছর পরে আপনি ওইটা প্রপার্টিটা বিক্রি করবেন। সো ইটস অল টুগেদার 15 ইয়ার্স উই টকিং অ্যাবাউট।
Yes.
10 বছর আপনি ছিলেন, 5 বছর ছিলেন না, 5 বছর আপনি রেন্ট করেছেন। সো উই টকিং অ্যাবাউট 15 ইয়ার্স। এখন 15 ইয়ার্স আগো আপনি এই প্রপার্টিটা মনে করেন কিনেছেন আপনি 100,000-এ। এখন 15 ইয়ার্স পরে এটার দাম এখন 300,000। সো ইউ হ্যাভ 200,000 পাউন্ড গেইন। এখন এই গেইনটা স্প্লিট হবে আপনার টোটাল 15 ইয়ার্সের গেইনটা যদি ভাগ করি আমরা, দেন ইউ উইল গেট 10 ইয়ার্স ক্রেডিট বিকজ ইউ ওয়াজ দেয়ার ফর 10 ইয়ার্স।
Correct. Yes.
সো 10 ইয়ার্সে যেটা গেইন হয়েছে সেটার উপরে আপনি ট্যাক্স দেবেন না, অনলি 5 ইয়ার্সে যেটা গেইন হয়েছে আপনি ট্যাক্স দেবেন ওইটার উপরে, ক্যাপিটাল গেইন ট্যাক্স। বাট দেন গভর্নমেন্ট ইউজ টু গিভ ইউ another 3 years extra bonus
On top. Yes.
on top of that.
Yeah.
So because of that reason people used to move in before they
Exactly.
they sell the property, they used to move in that property. But now that 3 years is come down to 9 months now. এখন গভর্নমেন্ট recent law
reduced.
it has been reduced to only 9 months government now they give you. So it may not be worth
It's not possible. Yeah, exactly.
even you know আপনার যে বাসায় আপনি থাকেন ওইখান থেকে সবকিছু এভরিথিং শিফট করে আবার এই বাসায় এসে তারপরে এটা বিক্রি করা অনলি ফর 9 মান্থস ক্রেডিট ইস মে নট বি অ্যাজ অ্যাট্রাকটিভ অ্যাজ ইট ওয়াজ বিফোর।
That's right. It's you know, it's something that if it's feasible, then it is a way to do it.
Yeah, but
So
if you
it's a
can prove
possibility.
that it was your principal residence at some point, you was living there, you know, then you can claim the principal residence relief.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Arif bhai, you know, with the capital gains tax, আসলে তো আমরা তো আসলে
But better
we-
when
we're
you buy your second home or second property, is always better to give a nomination to HMRC and tell them which one you want to consider as your principal residence, and that nomination will be in your file.
yeah.
So whenever you will sell that property, the main obviously the older one will attract more capital gain tax.
Yes,
Yeah.
potentially. Yes.
So you always, when you move out from that property, you make the nomination that that property will be my principal residence.
Yes. You know, we're always talking about the properties within the taxation of capital gains. We've mentioned this before, but I'd like to reiterate: the capital gains tax is not just liable on properties; it's liable on any assets that you hold. That
Any valuable.
any valuable assets that has gone up in value over the time that you've had it in your time from purchase to sale, and anything above £6,000 of gains.
If it's
has
not
to be-
not a property,
yes.
if it's not a residential property, then anything you gain more than 6,000, you have to declare.
Has to be declared.
And for property, you have up to 12,300 pound
Tax free.
tax free.
Tax free.
So if you make any gain which is more than 12,300, then obviously that will be subject to capital gain tax.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you do have any questions, আপনারা যদি কোনো question থাকে capital gains tax এর উপরে, property এর উপরে, আপনারা যদি property বিক্রির position আছেন বা if you're buying, even if you're buying, if you have any questions যে এই যে capital gains tax টা avoid কিলা করা যায়, if you have any questions like that, please get in touch with us 0203-5151-764. On that note, Arif bhai, let's say for example I'm a completely new buyer, property buyer in the market. I want to buy my, buy-to-let property for the first time. How do I avoid any future capital gains tax? Or not avoid, but how do I, restrict the amount that I'm paying, the liability? For example, আমরা advise to buy in a company, to buy as a limited company.
Through a
This is
limited
one of the
company.
easiest and quickest way to plan your tax, basically.
Yes, that will help you. That comes to your tax planning. Yeah, but as we explained before, the company through the property kena at this moment is more tax efficient way of doing it. There are many benefits. buying property through the limited company. But one of the benefit is obviously capital gain tax. You can যদি আপনার পার্সোনাল নামে হয়, ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালস নামে হয়, and if you are a higher taxpayer, so you pay 28% capital gain tax on that. Whereas if that gain goes to company, then company only pay 19% corporation tax. Company doesn't pay capital gain tax, it's only pay corporation tax. So there is a tax benefit, and then obviously if it's a business asset, there are other ways that you can avoid paying the capital gain tax, or you can delay. So that is other two relief I wanted to touch in today's program, which is when it comes to business asset, then there are few reliefs available that you don't have to pay capital gain tax straight away when you sell your business asset. Like one of the relief you can claim is called gift holdover relief.
Yes.
Yeah. So holdover relief is basically, when you give an asset to someone, like as a gift. Say for example, you had been trading for many years, say 10 years, 15 years, and then you decided that okay, you don't want to carry on, you want to retire, and you want to give it to your son. Yeah. So on that point, if you give it to your son, normally if it's a buy-to-let property, you want to give it to your son, obviously you have to settle the capital gain tax on that point. But if that is a business asset, then you have option. You have option not to settle, not to pay the capital gain tax on that time. So still you can give that asset to your son as a gift, or even underpriced, under the market price. Say your business is worth £500,000. Now your son obviously cannot pay £500,000 to you and take the business. But what you can say, okay, the market value is £500,000, but I only have say £100,000 left, the mortgage. So what you can do, you take the business and you keep paying the mortgage.
The mortgage.
So son is actually getting the property for £100,000, not for £500,000. Yeah. So still £400,000 is benefit that son is getting.
Yes.
So on that point, what they have to do, the son and the father, they have to make a joint declaration to HMRC and say that we will not settle the capital gain tax now, but we'll settle it when the son will sell the property.
When it's finally sold outside of the family.
Outside of the family. And then obviously if the grandson want to come in to the business, then you can defer. You can do the same. Yeah. So then there is option that if you want to linger,
Yeah.
but gain will be there. At some point you have to pay.
Finally, yes.
But if you keep within the family, then gift holdover relief is a good option.
Fantastic. Arif bhai, we do run out of time, unfortunately.
Okay.
I think we have a quick caller on the line. Let's take a quick call, and hopefully we'll be able to answer the question. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
Assalamu alaikum, walaikum salam. জি ভাইয়া, আপনার কই থেকে ফোন করছেন ভাইয়া?
আমি ফোন করছি বার্মিংহাম থেকে।
বার্মিংহাম
আপনাদের
থেকে।
প্রোগ্রামটা খুবই সুন্দর, আর আমি প্রায় সময় এটা শুনি, এবং অনেক কিছু শিখবার মতো আছে। আমার একটা একটা অ্যাডভাইস আছে যে টু দ্য ইয়ং জেনারেশন, মনে করো আমি এদেশে প্রায় 55 ইয়ার্স থেকে আছি আর কি। আমি এদেশে পয়লা আমার পর থেকে দেখলাম যে একটা বাসা বাড়ি কিনা এটা খুব ভালো একটা আইডিয়া। সেই সময় আমি ট্রেনে আসলাম আগে, কিন্তু বাসা কিনেছি যে সময় বয়স আমার 70 বছর বয়স আছিল। এটা সাহস হয়েছে মাসে আমার অনেক ধন্যবাদ দিছে যে এটা ব্রাইভ বয় যে তুমি একটা বাসা কিনছো। আমি ট্রেনে দিছি যে মর্গেজ রেন্ট পাইছি, রেন্টে আমার মর্গেজ হয়ে গেছে, এরপরে প্লাস পয়সা সেভ হয়েছে। তো আমি ওটা বুঝে দিল মনে করে অনেক মানুষ মনে করে যে বাসার দাম খুব বেশি, কিন্তু 20 বছর আগেও হয়েছে দাম বেশি, 40 বছর আগেও হয়েছে দাম বেশি, 60 বছর আগেও হয়েছে দাম বেশি। কোন দিন সস্তা ছিল, কিন্তু আসলে তুলকে তার ইনকাম যে মানুষের আর্নিং, মানুষের ইনকাম ওই হিসাবে করে বাসা বাড়ির দাম বাড়ে। কিন্তু সে যদি সরাসরি বাসা আজকে কিনে, তাহলে 5 বছর বাদে দেখবো যে অনেক দাম বাড়ি গেছে।
কিন্তু অনেক মানুষের সাহস করে না, সাহস করে বাসাটা কিনে তার অনেক ফায়দা হয়, অনেক লাভ হয়। তো আমি সব ইয়ং জেনারেশন ইনকারেজ করবো যে নিজের একটা বাসা কিনে, যেমন আমরা ছোটবেলায় স্কুলে পড়েছি, বাবুই পাখির এটাকে বলেছে ছুড়াই করে করে তাকে করো শিল্পের বড়াই। আমি তাকে মহাসুখে অট্টালিকা ভরে তুমি কত কষ্ট পাও রুদ্র বৃষ্টি জোরে। চড়াই বাবুই হাসিয়া কয়ে সুন্দর কি তাই নিজ হাতে গোড়ামোর কাঁচা করে কাঁচা। তুমি নিজের একটা বাসা তাহলে খুব ভালো, কিন্তু বাসার দাম তো সব সময় বাড়তেও আছে। এরপরে আপনার একটা বাসা কিনলে কোনো লস নাই। আমার অনেক হয় যে আপনি খুব ভালো মানুষ, একটা সাহস করিয়া বাসা কিনছিল, এরপরে বাসা আমি যেটা কিনছি বলা কিনছি 1600 পাউন্ড, এর বাদ পরে বাসা কিনছি আমি 6000 পাউন্ড দিয়ে, এরপরে বাসা কিনছি আমি 10,000 পাউন্ড দিয়ে। মানে বাসাটা কিনা খুব ভালো, আর এটা একটা সাহসের ব্যাপার। এটা আমি ইনকারেজ করবো ইয়ং জেনারেশন যে বাসা কিনুক, আর বাসার লাভ আছে। যেহেতু আপনার ইংল্যান্ডের ইকোনমিক ভালো, ওর আপনার বাসার দাম সবসময় বাড়বো, এবং রেন্ট দিলেও আপনার পয়সাটা রিটার্ন হয়, রেন্টে গিয়া মর্গেজ হয়। তো আমি আমার ইয়ং জেনারেশন সবসময় একটা ইনকারেজ করি বাসা লোক, আর বাসা কোনো লস নাই। থ্যাংক ইউ আমার সুযোগ দেওয়ার জন্য।
না ভাইয়া, থ্যাংক ইউ। আপনি ভেরি নাইস একটা পয়েন্ট আপনি ফোন করেছেন। উই উইশ যে আমাদের যদি আজকে প্রোগ্রামে আমরা শেষ পর্যায়ে চলে আসছি, যার জন্য আমাদের সময় নাই, কিন্তু আপনি এত সুন্দর একটা সাবজেক্ট আপনি ওপেন করেছেন যে আসলে আমাদের বিশেষ করে আমাদের কমিউনিটি এই জিনিসটা আসলে বোঝা দরকার, অনুধাবন করা দরকার যে একটা প্রপার্টি যারা মনে করেন 10 বছর আগে কিনেছে, এখন তাদের সেই প্রপার্টির উপরে অ্যাটলিস্ট ছোটোখাটো একটা প্রপার্টি হলেও 50 থেকে 100,000 পাউন্ড তাদের ইকুইটি আছে, বা 50 থেকে 100,000 পাউন্ড আপনার গেইন করেছে। এই 100,000 পাউন্ড আপনার কাজ করে কাজের জায়গা থেকে আপনার সেভ করা
ভেরি টাফ,
ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট। সো আপনার যদি প্রোগ্রেস করতে হয় দেন ইজ বেটার, আপনি যদি এইভাবে প্রপার্টি কিনতে পারেন বা আপনি করতে পারেন, দেন ইউ ক্যান আর্ন সাম মানি। বাট দ্য পয়েন্ট ইজ আমাদের অনেকেই আমরা মনে করি যে না, আমরা যদি প্রপার্টি কিনি বা বাড়ি কিনি, নিজের প্রপার্টিতে যাই, দেন উই হ্যাভ আপনার মর্গেজের এই লাইবিলিটি নিতে হবে, প্লাস উইল লুজ দ্য বেনিফিট, আপনার হাউজিং বেনিফিট, কাউন্সিল ট্যাক্স বেনিফিট। এইসব চিন্তা করে আসলে আমাদের হয়তো ওইদিকে যাওয়া হয় না বা আমাদের প্রপার্টি কেনা হয় না। কিন্তু if we can come out from there and look into the bigger picture, then it's always beneficial that you buy your own property, and then you will be in a different ballgame.
Absolutely.
You have to come out from that mindset that okay, we'll only live into the council property and
rented accommodation,
or assisted accommodation.
Fantastic. Thank you, Arif bhai. Thank you very much. And caller, actually, thank you very much. Actually, এটা তো প্রশ্ন ছিল না. It was more of a explanation. And on that note, on that very positive note, mashallah, if you are looking to buy properties, take the step. Be brave and take the step. It's going to be beneficial for you. Not immediately, not right the next day, but in the future, it will definitely be beneficial. Actually, we are at the end of the show now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. All the callers, thank you very much. We will be back again on Monday next week at 8:30 p.m. Inshallah, we'll see you then. Assalamu alaikum.